I read this thing. Our friend Ty Rivera posted something on Instagram, and I was reading it, and it was kind of crazy. Where there was this woman. Listen to this. This is a crazy story. Stick with me for this. It's going to take a minute, but I agreed to date a millionaire in Dubai. I'm a 24-year-old female, and honest to God, nature gave me beauty and a dream body. I was once a maid of honor to a young, quote, dolphin that was being politically projected in my country, whose name I will not reveal, otherwise it will be recognized very quickly. Politically protected, I think. A dolphin that was being politically protected. Whatever. 2 weeks ago, I went to Dubai for the first time with a friend who usually goes there. She told me you could get golden balls, a lot of money. She offered me the ticket and accommodation, said we would go in 5 days to enjoy the charms of Dubai. Arriving at the site, I was compulsively in awe and fascinated with this country, this world. Everything shines and whispers pride, blah, blah, blah. On the third day, I was approached by a strange man. When you look at him, you know he's full of money. He told me he liked me, he wanted to spend the night with me in a quiet place. He proceeded and told me in exchange for a day shopping at the stores of my choice and a large amount of money, $50,000. I was left speechless at how surprised I was at his proposal. I spoke to my friend, and she tells me here in Dubai, this is pretty common. It's nothing to her. That I should think of all the bags, brands, accessories that I could have in one day, and counting that enormous amount of money I could have for just one night. I thought nobody needs to know that I traded my body for jewels and clothes. We're far from home. What happens in Dubai stays in Dubai. And I made the mistake of accepting that exchange. So she gets to go. She describes that she goes to the mall. They pick me up at 10 from my hotel in a Lamborghini Diablo and took me to see blah, blah, blah. Asked me to sign an agreement. Secrecy, da-da-da. Handed me a bag of bills. I went to the mall. Got everything I wanted. For the first time, I was able to buy an original Chanel bag, Hermes sandals. I bought perfumes, clothes from Yves Saint Laurent, Prada, Louis Vuitton, Balenciaga, many more brands. After my shopping, his bodyguard put me to my hotel, and she could barely speak English. Told me to prepare for 10 p.m. He will come, and I'll meet my boss's needs. Oh my God, my ordeal was about to begin. He wasn't alone. There were 4 other men with him. I didn't have the right to talk. I just had to hold on until it was over. I thought I would only have to deal with one man. Everything changed. I didn't have any words. It was far more than I could handle that night. I was their sexual object, actually the object of their sexual sadism. They penetrated me in all the holes. They put me on a leash. I was forced to have sex with a dog. I couldn't speak. They tied me up with a gag that had a pink ball. They shoved things into my anus and vagina, so suffocating, blah, blah. While they scrubbed my face with my own feces, they choked me with their dick till they threw up multiple times, made me drink my vomit. One peed on my face and pooped in my mouth. I was forced to swallow the fecal cake and a bunch of other unexplainable things. After doing this, I was thrown in the water, and my boss told his bodyguard to get me out of the water. Then they gave me a big towel to cover myself. I was shaking, crying uncontrollably. I could feel my anus bleeding and my swollen vagina full of bruises. I smelled like a mixture of feces, urine, and acid sperm. Checked into my hotel around 4 a.m. in a state of shame. My friend came to see me at 9 o'clock and saw me in this condition and told me, my dear, you'll get used to it. I remember her on a boat. She saw me. I asked her why she didn't tell me this was going to happen. She told me that not everyone has foreign practices. Sometimes it's just sex, really, and that she didn't want to scare me and risk me turning down the proposal. I was shocked that she could put me through this. Today I feel dirty. I lost my humanity, my dignity. I want to die. Everything I got, those expensive gifts and $1 million purchases disgust me. Months go by, and I still smell feces, urine, and sperm in my mouth as they're being deposited in me now. I needed to talk about this because no one knows what she's been through until today, except my friend destroyed me. I know she will read it. I just want her to know she ruined my life. I don't even know if I'll have kids one day. I'm so broken. I think about suicide all the time. I hear voices whispering to me, blah, blah, blah. Thank you for not judging me. I made mistakes. I trusted the wrong person. My greed and ambition today makes me pay dearly. Anonymous. I'm a little sick of, in this country, and in all countries, and in the world, internationally, People that are paid to do a job complaining after they get paid. This is something that is not specific to this particular story, even though it's certainly, this story is a great example of this. Someone who is well paid to do a job who then complains that the job is not all they wanted it to be. This is a perfect example of someone looking for fulfillment from something they need to accept as just work. They need to accept that this is just work. And I think we romanticize the idea of fulfillment and being able to have it all and things being perfect. But the reality of the situation to me is you were hired to do a job. You took the money. You got the Balenciaga. You got the designer clothes. You took the money. And then when you had to do the job, you didn't like the job. I mean, I just feel like that, to me, is not something that we should not congratulate people who are refusing to uphold their end of the bargain. And you're smiling, but what is... No, I'm actually serious. Like, what's the problem? What is the issue?
Let's see here. What do I
What
say?
did you think you were getting $50,000 for? Do you know what hookers cost? They're like high-end hookers are a few $1,000s, maybe $5,000. What did you think you were getting $50,000 for? And all those designer clothes.
How old was she?
I don't know. That's immaterial to me. Are you showing up to work or are you not showing up to work?
Mm-hmm.
What is your biggest problem with my logic? Because often you disagree with me. No, I mean, again, I'm trying to figure out. I'm not completely insensitive to her plight. Like I'm somebody that I'm not into scat. But I mean, where am I going wrong with what my thoughts?
I'd have to have more context with her. She may have thought in her head, this is how much a normal prostitution costs. Because she goes, well, I'm so hot. I'm a nice piece of ass. This is what guys pay, right?
She's out of her mind. Literally, if somebody said to me, I'm giving you $50,000, the first thing I would say is, who's shitting in my mouth? That is literally if somebody said to me, I'm going to give you $50,000, the first thing I would literally say is, do I have to eat my own shit, your shit, or both of our shit? $50,000? You're lucky there were only 4. I'm not being unreasonable.
This was one night of work?
Can you imagine the guys the next day being like, remember the toilet that came over last night? She's complaining. Yeah, the one we gave $50,000. We shit in women's mouth all the time. They get nothing. We gave this bitch $50,000. You know Chanel uses lambskin leather in the handbag. That's why it's so soft. So my point is that if you're being offered that kind of money, it's going to be a wild night. Now you're doing well. But you're telling me back when you weren't doing well, you couldn't take a little shit in the mouth for $50,000? Dead serious. Real question.
Would I let 4 men shit in my mouth for $50,000 back in the day? No.
Well, you've lived a nice life, Benjamin Avery. You've lived a really nice life.
You can get sepsis.
Oh, God. You're like my aunt. Don't jump off the bridge because you get paralyzed because people leave their shopping carts in the water. Don't let someone shit in your mouth in Dubai. You'll get sepsis.